athletes of the year, top 10, and here we go with that. Venus and Serena Williams, we disagreed on this, but the reason why I wanted to put them in is because these women, when you think about Lindsay Davenport, Martina Hingis, Jennifer Capriati, all these players were around in the late 90s when the Williams sisters came in. And the Williams sisters now, we're going to the end of this decade, and they won the last 2 Grand Slam tournaments together. I mean, just the dominance now. It's crazy. Imagine if they were more focused, and if they didn't have injury problems as well.
I mean, and that's the debate. You know, no one Venus is the greatest women's grass court player since Martina, or Martina and Steffi. She's in that 3-person conversation.
Yeah,
Serena, I think, could have been the best of all of them.
Of all time.
And that's why, you know, to me, yeah, she won the U.S. Open this year, but it's one of those things, and I know she has other endeavors that she's interested in, but I wouldn't have put her here. But I have no huge argument with it.
Pedrak Harrington, the significant season he had, especially with Tiger not being around, but winning the last 2 majors.
2 majors.
3 of the last 6.
3 of 6, and I mean, his company, I think, is Woods, Tom Watson, Lee Trevino, Arnold Palmer, Ben Hogan, and Jack Nicklaus. I mean, you know, you're talking probably 5 of the top 8 golfers of all time. You know, whether you're a golf fan or not, you have to give him all the credit in the world. He is the player of the year. People that argue Woods, you know, if you only play for 4 months of the year, you can't be. And as good as Tiger is, and there's no issue on that.
Right. And Rafael Nadal, the epic, which we'll talk a little bit about later, but Nadal, the first man since Bjorn Borg to win French and Wimbledon the same year. And but he didn't win that U.S. Open. He would have been in the top 5 if he was able to at least make the finals.
I think it would have been higher than that. He was unbelievable. He won debatably, and we'll discuss it later, the greatest match of all time. You know, the French, he beat Federer. I think Federer took 4 games. I mean, he was at the top of his game. Yeah. And you know, now that Federer has kind of come back from the mono fully, it's going to be great. It should be a great rivalry going into 2009.
That's right, with the Australian Open. That's for sure. If Djokovic could come back and defend his title. Lorena Ochoa, one of the great women's players, she's won 15 LPGA tournaments the last 2 years, 7 this year, 4 straight, and the Nabisco title.
She's followed Annika Sorenstam. She's taken over the mantle as best women golfer, and it's not really debatable at this point. I'm still waiting for Michelle Wee.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for the Maxim, too.
Yeah,
the
Maxim. But I think we have a pretty long wait on that regard. Maybe when she wins a title, we can start discussing her in general.
Right. That's for sure. And Manny Pacquiao, we have to put him here because Pac-Man, in 3 matches this year, defeating Juan Manuel Marquez, which was very close, but Marquez is a fellow Hall of Famer.
He's a top 3 to 5 fighter to begin with.
You know, and it's on a split decision. Then moving up to 135 and destroying a decent David Diaz, who was a titleist there.
He'd beaten Eric Morales for a title a year earlier. And then in you got to give, what round did I say?
It was the 9th round, but it was right before the 9th when he knocked out Oscar.
We watched the fight together.
But I called from when the fight was signed. You know, remember how everyone was calling us crazy?
Yeah, well, it's not the first time. And Pacquiao just put a destruction on De La Hoya. Now he'll fight Ricky Hatton, and hopefully, if Floyd Mayweather decides, you know, this is what he wants to do, then that's the fight we're all waiting for.
And that'll be the fight. The best fighter of our generation will win that fight.
I think so.
Absolutely.
I think it's what everyone's waiting for.
That's right. And now the top 5: Cristiano Ronaldo
had, I think, 41 goals for Man U, and they won both the club championship and won an incredible Champions League final over Chelsea, which we'll discuss a little bit later. And you know, he was devoted the player of the year. I think he won the Golden Boot. I think it's called for the player of the year, and he just had an incredible year. Unfortunately, he couldn't lead Portugal to the European Championships again, but he's kind of comparable almost to the A-Rod of professional soccer. Incredible talent. Although Man U had won, he hasn't put his best at the best times yet. So we'll wait to see if that's a comparable. But 40 goals is 40 goals.
Yeah, exactly. And wow, Jimmy Johnson, auto racing. We talked about
it already.
Yeah, with the 3 straight the Nextel Series Cups titles, and Usain Bolt. What he did was really significant. I think he will be the greatest athlete in track and field history if he can do what there are rumors of him doing in London, 100, 200, and 400. running all three
It's
of them.
amazing.
You know, just amazing.
But I don't know if I put him that high just because Carl Lewis did the 100, 200, was it the 100, 200, the relay, and the long jump.
Right.
I mean, but what Usain Bolt did was insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, actually, in this Olympics, it's the 100, 200, and 4x100 relay. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and you look. I mean, he could have done it faster. You know, that's the amazing part.
Oh,
I mean, at least
broke world records. All three
broke all three world records. But for the 100, he could have done it even faster because remember he slowed down and kind of turned around a little bit.
Yeah, right. He could have had 959, like Otto Bolden said. You know, but
I can't drive a car that fast.
right, exactly. It's crazy. And Candace Parker, women's basketball, what she accomplished this year: Player of the Year, NCAA Player of the Year, then MVP for the WNBA.
She's debatably, with Cheryl Miller and Cheryl Swoops, the greatest women's college basketball player of all time. She's sensational. She doesn't get most of the credit because it's a sport. Women's basketball isn't that highly thought of. But what she's done has been incredible. And she's 22, 23, and she's going to be on this. She'll be doing this for the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh, absolutely.
At a minimum. And she is the best. She's the premier. She's the premier women's basketball player in the world right now.
That's right, and she exceeded her hype, just like a la LeBron James and a la Tiger Woods. When you come into the pros and you exceed your hype when you win MVP.
Speaking of exceeding your hype, our number one athlete. Now, who could it possibly be?
Michael Phelps, 8 gold medals.
Enough said.
Enough said. And we're going to talk about the 2 races that made him, that
kind of brought him from just the upper echelon to the pantheon of greats for all intents and purposes.
That's true.